Tea Partier Sharon Angle has just thrown her campaign against Harry Reid, I guess you could say, into psycho overdrive. I want to get some rapid-fire response on her actions. She claimed Sharia law is taking hold in the United States, including in Texas. Her latest commercial accuses Harry Reid of voting to give Viagra to child molesters. And her pastor is attacking Harry Reid's religion, saying the Mormon Church is a cult that does illegal things. With us tonight, Laura Flanders, author of Blue Grit and a host of Grit TV on Free Speech TV, and Heidi Harris, radio talk show host in Las Vegas, who is our Sharon Angle expert talker. I tell you what, you have got so much material out in Las Vegas, you could do a 6-hour show a day. What is this about Harry Reid allegedly giving funding of Viagra to child molesters? I mean, how is that playing out there, Heidi?
Well, Tom Coburn tried to put an amendment in the health care bill that would prevent people who were maybe not imprisoned, who were child molesters, rapists, convicted sex offenders, from potentially receiving Viagra, because he felt that it wasn't clear in the health care bill that they would not be able to get it. Harry Reid voted against it. So that's what Sharon's saying in her ad, and that's true.
I mean, to be clear,
here is the ad right here. Hold on just a second. Here is the ad. Here's the Sharon Angle commercial linking Reid to the child molesters with Viagra. Here it is.
Want to know just how out of touch Harry Reid is? Spending $787 billion on a stimulus that failed is a start. Or Reid voting to give illegal aliens special tax breaks and Social Security benefits is another big clue. But here's the kicker. Reid actually voted to use taxpayer dollars to pay for Viagra for convicted child molesters and sex offenders. What else could you ever need to know about Harry Reid?
They're very cleverly tagging an amendment where Tom Coburn was trying to stop health care. Heidi, you're right about that. What about this, Laura?
Well, there was no voting for, is the point here, is the complete what you might call lie. What happened was the Democrats tabled a vote on this Tom Coburn red herring health care scuttling amendment, and that's what Angle is apparently getting at. But there was no vote for money to go to molesters for Viagra. That's a complete lie, and anybody that says different is crazy.
Politics.
Heidi?
I love politics, too. You know, obviously, he did not vote against it. This is something that he didn't think was really worth his time. And ultimately, this kind of thing goes on all the time.
Not the same as voting for it. It doesn't happen. There isn't a problem.
Well,
there was an amendment that was intended to do something else that they tabled, didn't even vote against. This is not the same as voting for, and Sharon Angle's constituents deserve better. So rather than to be treated as complete idiots, they can tell the difference.
Well, you know what the facts are. Politics is the way it is, and people will take things out of context at times and pull things out of context that you said at events, and votes that you've taken. They will parse the votes, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, some votes Sharon Angle was accused of making. When you looked into what actually happened, it was entirely different than the way Harry Reid was trying to characterize her.
There was not a vote for Viagra for child molesters.
When he tried to say that she voted not to protect the women who were domestic violence victims, that was incorrect. This is what happens.
Heidi, would you admit that this is, Heidi, would you admit that this ad is a flat-out lie? There was no money. There was no money for Viagra to child molesters?
No, the point is that Tom Coburn was trying to make it very clear, because the law doesn't say that you can't give these guys Viagra. That's the whole point. If it's not clearly prohibited, then potentially taxpayer money can be used for child molesters.
I think at a certain point, Sharon Angle's voters are going to have to get up and say, you know what, we are smarter than this. This is an insult, and you can try to get around it all you will, but you're tiptoeing around the reality that it's a lie. And if you want to say, well, other people don't tell the truth in their campaigns, that's no kind of defense.
Here is the sound cut from Sharon Angle on Sharia law. Here it is.
Dearborn, Michigan, and Frankfort, Texas are on American soil and under constitutional law, not Sharia law. And I don't know how that happens in the United States. It seems to me that there is something fundamentally wrong with allowing a foreign system of law to even take hold in any municipality or government situation in our state, in our United States.
Laura Flanders,
Well,
is that psycho talk?
Well, you know, almost makes you feel sorry for the woman. Maybe this was a gotcha. Reminds me of the moment where the comedian asked George W. Bush if he'd ever heard of the band The Taliban, and he said, yeah, I think it's a band, or something like that. I mean, this is such a gotcha, silly comment, but it doesn't come as a surprise that Sharon Angle would believe conspiracy theories. I mean, come on. This is a woman who got to power, as much as she's got, by hanging out with folks that think Obama is, you know, foreign born. So it's not exactly new, but it is worrying.
Well, I don't exactly know what she was talking about actual Sharia law, but let's face it, we live in a country where somebody can go to work at Disneyland and force Disney to allow them to wear a hijab. That's ridiculous. People try to sue their companies to allow them to have Muslim prayer times in America. That's ridiculous.
Sharia
An 18-year-old girl.
Heidi, come on.
No.
Sharia law, as opposed to being allowed to practice your religion, is a little distinction there.
It's ridiculous for anybody who's a Muslim to come to this country and work at an American company.
We live and we attract people to this country by the fact that we have freedom of religion,
yeah, but you don't have the right to sue your employer. No. Your employer should not be sued to allow you to practice your religion. I don't ask my boss to give me breaks so I can go pray as a Christian.
So you're going to say that your right to be able to pray on the work is equivalent to Sharia law? Come on now.
Those are aspects of it that people see creeping into our culture.
Sharia law in Texas cities, in Dearborn, Michigan. That's what Sharon Angle was talking about.
I understand that.
You may be smarter than that, but that's what she said.
Great to have you with us tonight. Laura Flanders, Heidi Harris, always a pleasure.